that's not the outline thingy that I want. How about this one? Nope. How about this one? Yay! Close enough. Okay, I just gotta make sure that the microphone is working. Testing. How do I know if it's working? Hello, can you hear me? I don't know if the microphone is working. You could write in the chat if you can hear me. I'm trying to figure out if the microphone is working or which microphone I've selected. Okay, I got music in the background. I do have music in the background. It's supposed to not be as loud though. Hold on, let me reduce it a little bit more. There you go. But can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Well, I think that. Oh, okay. Now it looks like it's working. I have no idea what it is. It says it's a default microphone. I don't know. Did it work? No, I think it's not selected. Yes, I am using the PC microphone because the other one doesn't work. Like, not working. Well, yeah, I don't know if it doesn't necessarily have to be like anything wrong with the mic. It might just be the fact that I'm using a specific program for it. See, this is why I was like, please, can you connect it? And you're like, you see this thing right here? Just connect it to the computer and you're working in it. It doesn't work. Anyway, we're not using tiny mic until we figure out how it's working. All right. Well, hello. Today we are at Hawkins Lab. We are doing a self-care workshop that is Stranger Things. The idea is to play, just hang out, geek out about Stranger Things, the new season. Maybe, hopefully get some donations here, right here. I was gonna do a tour of Stranger Things house. As you can see behind me is the wall. However, my computer's dying, so is my phone. So no tour today. We're gonna do the tour tomorrow, I think. I did have other things that I wanted to do today. Um, but lots of plans ended up changing. I did order this whole thing that was supposed to be like a thousand questions, like trivia questions from the show, and it says it was delivered, but I don't know where it is. It's supposed to be somewhere in my house, and I couldn't find it, so it didn't get delivered, or we totally lost it. So, and also no one's here, and me doing a um what is it, a game by myself kind of is boring. Since today is the first day, I'm just going to be doing sort of like introduction and hanging out for a little while before that. So here's the thing. So we actually, Psychology for Geeks, we rented the Stranger Things Airbnb in Clovis, and it is so cool in here. There is props everywhere. I kind of messed it up a little bit because I brought my from this century from this century items, and that's kind of lame. We contaminated the area, but anyway, let me show you a lot of what's around. We have the newspapers, right? It's missing. We also have, I don't know if I can reach from here. Hold on, I will try. Yes, I got them. We also have the missing posters, or like flyers, for Will. They are available here. The whole house is decorated. Like each room is like a different, I guess, area of the town or a different location. And like I said, there's so many like little things that are like so awesome. Tomorrow I will charge my phone. I'll make sure that my phone is ready to go, so then we can actually do a tour of the house, because I came in here and there was like music, the lights were on. It was so cool. And then there's like a special extra surprise that I was not aware of. I didn't know it was here, and it's scary and I screamed. A good thing I was not alone though. I was here with someone else, so that made me feel a little bit better. So tired. I've been getting like colds now and then, and I think I also skipped yesterday taking my medications to get sleep. It was not a good day. Okay. So, hello, welcome in. Today we're doing a self-care workshop, Stranger Things style. We are, I guess this is Will's house. This is the background. I wonder if I can choose. I know I can choose a different background for tomorrow. There's so many. I also want to make like little tiny videos because they're like, this is so cool. Like even in the bathroom. I wonder if it's like there's better activities in the bathroom. Anyway, so we are here doing a special live stream. The Stranger Things house in Clovis. This whole weekend we are doing sort of like our workshops, of self-care art workshops, and one of them is you can choose from one of these. Oops. Nope. Oh, it's the other one. Wait, this way. That's two, and then we have this ones as well. You can choose one of them, and then what a local artist will do a guided step-by-step on how to do that. And then the other option that we have available is to do a sort of like fake stained glass sort of like work, kind of like this. Just ignore the sides. I was just testing it out, and then so I had to do it really fast. But I think it turned out like really cool anyway. This one is I think Vignes Curse. That's what we're calling it. And then the other one is just like an art workshop. So yeah, anyway, so today I am going to be doing a little bit of trivia. I think so I had plans for today. However, it really depends on who is in the audience, if we have any people in the audience, and if anybody is willing to sort of like join into the activities. So one of the things that I was going to do was one of the things I was going to do is I'm blanking. Nothing. I'm going to do nothing apparently. I wish I could just I do have Stranger Things Mad Libs. However, oh yes. So there's three. So backtrack. Okay, so this isn't going to be the only live stream. So today is the first live stream. Tomorrow is another live stream, and then on Sunday I will also do another live stream from the same location, or from like the Stranger Things house in Clovis. Hopefully we'll have like different backgrounds for tomorrow and a better setup, because today I just basically have a box on top of the table and I'm sitting on the floor. But tomorrow I think hopefully have a little bit of a better setup, and I'll have my phone, which will allow me to move around, so then I can show you give you a tour of the house. But since we are doing 3 different live streams, and we are supposed to be talking about sort of like the science of self-care, I guess we can start it with that. There's 3 different types that I wanted to do. The problem with like taking notes is that I usually have like 2 or 3 different places where I take my notes, and then I'm like, where did I write it down? That is now a mystery. Yep, it's not in here. Okay, so I think I was going to do just like self-care like myths, and then I was going to do self-advocacy and self-compassion. I guess as today is the first one that we're doing, I guess I can tackle down the self-care myths. Let's see. No, I guess I can use it on my phone. Whoa, something is happening to the computer. Wow, quality is so bad. Wait, no. Okay. I don't want to be full screen. There you go, much better. I use my data. Wait, is that the internet? Yeah, I'm connected to the internet. Not for long. My phone is gonna die soon. Again, since today is sort of like the first day, I don't think we're gonna go on for too long today. Today's basically just kind of like an intro, and we were supposed to do a whole bunch of other things, but it doesn't seem like anyone is watching, so we just postponed some of them to hopefully maybe tomorrow or another day when people are watching. For now, let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. I wish I could hear the music that's playing. Nope. I stopped my thing. I can't even hear the music. Man. Okay. Wow. Nope, not that one. Comics. There you go. Leave that one open just in case we need it. And I usually talk about when I do mental health presentations. I usually just kind of like start talking, and hopefully I stay on track. Should have taken notes today. Okay, so today we are doing self-care. I'm just gonna do like a half an hour sort of like talk, because I can go on for like forever, but also the problem is that I don't want to go on for forever talking about mental health, because I'm gonna go on a bunch of like side quests and never get to a point, or like never end, thanks to my ADHD brain. But today I'm just gonna do sort of like the basics, and if there's any questions, you can please feel free to write them in the chat, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. And I guess I never really paid much attention to like introducing myself or providing a reason why you should at least take everything I say with a grain of salt. So I am, I guess, a qualified mental health provider. I am not licensed yet. That is something that I'll be working on next year. But for now, I am under the supervision of a psychologist. But I have been doing therapy for about, I don't know, close to like 10 years now. I think I am old, and my gray hairs are starting to show. Anyway, self-care. We're talking about self-care today. So I think part of the problem that I have with social media or like the internet is that there is so much information online about self-care, about what self-care is. And to a certain extent, if you just sort of like listen to or believe whatever you read online, it just makes it seem like if you do self-care, all your problems are going to be fixed. Like you won't have any problems. Like everything can be solved with self-care, which is kind of right and wrong at the same time. Self-care is great. Self-care is good for a bunch of different things, and I'll give you a bunch of examples in a little bit. But also, it's not correct to say that if you have PTSD or you have depression or you have ADHD, that is just going to make your symptoms go away. It might make them a little bit more manageable. It may make you feel a little bit more in a positive, good mood, but it's not going to fix everything. And also, it doesn't always work, right? So whenever we have an activity, let's say that we exercise, right, as a way to do self-care, sometimes it does makes us feel better after we exercise. Sometimes we do not feel better. We still feel the same, even though we have already exercised. So, one of the things that we often recommend is that you have more than one way of doing self care. Uh, so, let's say that you like to meditate and you use meditation as a way to center yourself and sort of like stay focused. Again, there will be days where it's going to work wonders. There will be days where it's not going to do anything at all to help you. And also, there are people who might dislike meditation very much, right? They might not like it at all. Like, it's not that I dislike it, it's that my ADHD brain, it's harder. It's harder for me to do it. However, there's alternatives, right? So there's alternatives for a lot of things, but I want to get started by talking first about like what is the most common self-care activity that I suggest as a mental health provider, and that I will always say is hobbies, because you already love it, you know you love it, and it's helpful, right? Whether it's playing video games, whether it's hiking, playing sports, writing, whatever it is, it allows us to sort of focus on an activity, sort of like practice mindfulness, because you're so focused on doing that activity, and you let go of other things, that other worries that you might have, or the negative sort of thoughts that are probably not for you. And when that happens, it helps you center yourself, right? So then once you're done with that task, like you, let's say you play video games for a couple hours, or you read half a book, or whatever it was, whatever your self-care activity was, now you feel a little bit better, more centered, and you're able to sort of like tackle down whatever problem you were facing to begin with. However, I think sometimes we take it to the extreme, especially for neurodivergent people. We tend to just get a lot of happy uh, chemical in our brain, and then we just kind of become very obsessed with it. Like we just want to do it over and over again. We often see it with like playing video games, because there's such a reward for that, or like people say, just kind of like doom scrolling. Also, for that there is um, well, now I'm blinking. Hmm. Oh, there is a lot of examples of people who talk about it. They're like, video games or watching TV is like not good for you, because it's very easy with those activities for you to sort of like go overboard, right? It's very easy for you to spend a lot of money on collectibles, or it's very easy for you to sort of like go down the rabbit hole, right, of like the internet. And although it does make us happy, it's not something that usually lasts a lot, right? That's what we say, you need to do self-care consistently. I work a lot with adults as well, as kiddos or teens, and adults oftentimes don't really have a hobby that they do consistently, because they have so many responsibilities, or because they feel bad about leaving their kids alone for them to go to like a dinner, or to a movie, or hang out, or with friends, or go on a date with their significant or with their partner, because it they're like, oh, well, they're my kids, I'm supposed to take care of them, or I'm supposed to take them everywhere with me. And I'm like, hey, listen, kiddos will learn that, hey, my parents used to like go on dates, or my parents used to like go and hang out with their friends without us, right? And they had fun, so it teaches your kids that it's okay for them to do that, which is what we want, right? Like we want kids to understand that it's okay for them to advocate for themselves, to take time for themselves, but we also want them to make sure that um, they have boundaries, right? So, for example, I know that if I were to start reading something right now, or maybe watching like a new show, I'm gonna get hooked. I am gonna just want to continue reading or watching until I finish everything. And that's not great because then I go to sleep super late, or I end up ignoring other things that I need to do. So I have uh, like a time and a place for me to engage in hobbies like that I know are going to just get me hooked into it. And so there has to be a balance when we think about self-care, right? It has to be something that we can do consistently, something that it doesn't have to be, but sometimes it ends up being where, like, when you're trying to do self-care, you end up also socializing with other people because you play D&D, or because you're playing board games with someone, or because you're painting, or because you're going out to, like, on hikes, and then you encounter people, or whatever it is, right? So it kind of creates a community around those things. I think oftentimes what we see on the internet is, we see, oh, if you want to do self-care, just make sure that your nutrition is good, that you're exercising, and that you're sleeping well, and that you're doing all these, like, beauty sort of like routines, or getting massages, or doing your nails. Um, and I'm not saying those things are not self care, but there's so much more to doing self care than just that. Things like saying no is self care. Having boundaries for yourself, kind of like how I do with watching a new show, or reading something new that I know I'm gonna really like. I usually leave it to the weekend, or 2 or 3 days space where I know that if I don't get anything done, and I'm just couch potato for the rest of those few days, then it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Um, I'm saying too much now. I'm annoying myself. So self care is it can be a bunch of different things, not just what we see on the internet. It can be learning how to communicate better. It can be setting goals for yourself in terms of your profession, or nutrition, or exercise goals. That all can count as self care. Shopping trip is also counting as self care. However, again, there has to be sort of like a boundary, right? If you go on a shopping spree, and you end up, like, maxing out all your credit cards, is that really considered self-care? Makes you feel better, but only in, like, the short term, not necessarily in the long term, because then now you're gonna be concerned about how I'm gonna pay for these things, right? So just kind of have to be very careful about that. uh So those are some of the main sort of things that we see on, uh, when it comes to self care, right? Now let's see, what's the other one. There's like three key points that I wanted to talk about today in terms of that, and okay, that's actually two key points. And the other one, I did already talk about how there's, like, different ways to do self care. I really wish people were sort of part of the stream. It, at least on my end, is not really noting that anybody is watching, so I can't really, like, answer questions or ask questions to people. So I'm just gonna go based on sort of like the examples that I often use when I do these presentations, when I'm talking to my clients. And one of them is recommend doing hobbies, right? Spending more time doing whatever hobby they like. A lot of parents end up telling me, I don't even remember what my hobbies used to be before I have kids. I sometimes ask kids what their hobby is, or what they like to do for fun. And they just kind of stare at me, and they're like, and I'm like, you don't like things? I'm even like teenagers sometimes, they're just kind of like, I'm like, I don't know, maybe because I am sort of like a stranger, and I'm asking this, or because I'm asking something about yourself, because it is hard to talk about, like, yourself, like those questions that you get at, like, when you do like college interviews or any sort of like job interview, they're like, "Oh, tell us about yourself." Those questions, because I'm like, I don't know what. Like, can you be a bit more specific, like what you want to say? Because I can tell you facts, right? Like, I'm hungry right now. I'm kind of tired. I would like to take a nap. And those are things about myself, but that's not what they're looking for. Anyway, point being is that those questions I don't like. But it kind of did make me a little bit afraid for this generation of like younger kiddos. And I know COVID ended up changing a lot of things for us as well, not only for adults, but also for kiddos, because they didn't, a lot of teens or kids didn't start school the way that most of us did. There wasn't that socializing period. So there's a lot of like, I just feel really shy. I don't know how to make friends. It's really hard to make friends. How do I communicate? Even for adults as well. I think now I feel like I'm doing quite a bit better because I go outside and do things. It looks like, oh, there. It looks like the stream kind of went down. I don't know if it was just like on my end. I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi. My connection is unstable. I can't plug it into a router because I don't have the cable, and I don't even know if they have. I mean, they probably do. But I don't really look around. This is my house. It's weird. Um, so we're just gonna have to do this. I don't know what I was saying. Well, the weekly did release this front page. But guess what? I stole it from his house. No, I didn't. So he did scare me. Right. Anyway, I was talking about self-care. Yeah, a lot of people. Okay, now that I'm doing stuff for the nonprofit, I'm going outside a lot more often. I'm hanging out with friends, making a point to do those things. But because after COVID, I'm an introvert. I'm like fine doing it, like staying at home. Like home is where all of my hobbies are at, for the most part. But then there was a point where I just went outside and I was asking somebody who worked at a grocery store or something. Like I was trying to find something, and I just had this sort of like out of body experience where I was like, I'm actually outside and talking to a person, because I was doing a lot of like telehealth, or a lot of like Zoom sort of like meetings and stuff, and that's how I was doing therapy. That's still how I do therapy, but I kind of forgot to go outside because it was like COVID time, so I did it. So I forgot how to socialize. It was like I just felt really awkward doing it. I was talking to someone the other day that suggested that they might have changed from being an extrovert to being an introvert, kind of like because of COVID. A lot of things going on. No, I don't know why. Maybe it's my computer. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi. I don't know why it's doing this, but hold on. Why? Hmm. Nope, nope, no, that's not me. Oh, stream manager. I don't want to hear myself talk. Uh, I don't know how to. I don't know how to use my phone. I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna just do it on my computer real fast. I just want to delete this message that got posted on Twitch. I don't like it. Come on, come on! You can do it! I think it's this one. This is stream manager. And if you're not already following us, I encourage you to do so. Oh, great. I also don't know how to use this. What is my life? Oh, here. Duh. Okay. Here you go. It's so funny because I'm using StreamYard in order to stream this, right? So I can see. So I'm streaming both on YouTube and Twitch, and it tells me that there is only one person watching me in both platforms. And then I go over to Twitch, and Twitch also says one person. But earlier than 4. I'm not hallucinating, I swear. I wish there was someone in the chat right now so then we can talk a little bit more about, because a lot of the things, because I talk about them all the time, or because it's something that is sort of like basic psychoeducation for sort of like a therapist. I forget that a lot of the information that I know, not everyone knows or is aware of. So I enjoy getting questions when I do presentations, because otherwise I can just go off and talk about tangents, and I just essentially just go around in circles, like repeating the same thing over and over again. But alright, well. Oh yes, so the other thing I want to talk about when it came to self-care was the different ways that we can do it, right? So hobbies, I said, is something that something we can do more consistently. However, it really depends on the hobbies, right? If one of your hobbies is to travel, can't really travel every single day. It's really expensive to do so, right? So, but for things like that, there's like alternatives. I spoke to someone once where their hobby was to go camping, but they were getting older and they had a lot of like chronic pain because of an injury. So they were like, I can never do that again. And I'm like, yes, you can. You can do that again. However, it's not going to look the same as before, right? Like you might not be able to go like rock climbing, but you can still spend time in nature. You can still maybe potentially go to like rock climbing gyms, maybe not so much. And it depends on like the injury, depends on what you're able to do. But there's like tons of things that you can do. It's just we kind of get very set on like, but it's not the same as before. And for some reason, we convince ourselves that because it's not the same as before, therefore that must mean that it's just not good at all, right? And that is not correct. It can be just as fun uh, to do things. I remember in one of my jobs, it was at a hospital, and I was working there, and we used to have sort of like a group therapy sessions where we would just bring a bunch of like craft supplies, and we would just like color, draw, or craft. Whatever, and a lot of, especially it was, we were in the adult section. This particular hospital was only for adults, so we were like, a lot of people were like, well, why? Like coloring, like that's for kids. And I'm like, it's not for kids. It's a great way to practice mindfulness, right? You're just doing the same thing over and over again, in your focus on it, and it gets you out of this space. We used to play music as well, and it just became a vibe. It was so great for us to be able to do that. Oh, now it says that there's some people that have joined us. Hello, hello, welcome in. I'm just kind of talking about self care a little bit. I am right now at the Stranger Things Airbnb in Clovis. Unfortunately, my computer is kind of dying, so I can't do, and so is my phone, so I can't really do a tour of the house, but that will come tomorrow. If you guys are interested in, one of the other things that I had planned for today was to do trivia. So if you guys are interested in trivia, we can do that. Otherwise, we can just sort of like chat. I was just thinking of chatting. I wasn't. It depends on like how many people are like chatting on online with me. Yeah. Because doing trivia or games by myself is not fun. So I was just gonna chat the whole time. So I am a mental health provider. So if you have any questions about self-care, that is the topic for today. Tomorrow we could potentially do self-care, like self-compassion or self-advocacy. Either one I think works for me. I'll leave it up to a vote, whoever's interested in doing that. I believe tomorrow is also, let me get I think tomorrow we're also going to start the live stream at 8. I think each live stream that I have planned has been for 2 hours. Let me get my trusty notes right here. Yes. Oh no, today I was supposed to start at 7. I didn't start at 8. But for Saturday and Sunday, I am gonna start at 8. Well, I might start streaming a little bit earlier, or do like an earlier stream, since earlier in the day we were supposed to do a lot of workshops here in the house. I think I'm gonna be doing a lot of like videos and recordings for later. But yeah, I'm really excited for the new season. I just sort of like finished watching everything. I was doing this videos where I was pausing after watching a season and talk about sort of like my thoughts, and I stopped doing that. But let me see. I do have the reviews here, like the key points that I wanted to say. So for season 3, I just felt like I was like, Ew, why are the monsters getting like more disgusting? They were just like blobs that would like eat in like it and explode. It was like, so weird. And then I was like, bro, can this lady not catch a break? I totally forgot her name. I mean, her kid, then Bob, then her boyfriend, and then her potential boyfriend. So, like, no wonder she's like thinking of like moving out. Although I think I would have moved out like the first time my son was missing, but now like after watching like the third season, then I just got sad because then everything was just going wrong for like everyone. So I was like, bruh, no, I I'm not on board with any of this. And then for season four, what was my thoughts on that? This is I have four notes on this, and I just have okay. Well, at least they got what's his face back now, so that's good. Talking about the sheriff, that's what I was talking about. And then I got really upset because the Papa guy survived, or like the guy that everybody calls Papa or like Dad or whatever. And then I was like, oh, I kind of like the doctor too. Wait. Oh yeah. Well, actually, I think he did survive, right? It was like the psychiatrist doctor dude that took over the lab after the Papa guy. And then the one thing that just made me really sad about season four is that the one guy, his death was like so epic, but also, bro, I was starting to like him, and then, oh well, sad, sad, sad. Yeah, it tells me that one person is watching, but I'm pretty sure um, Twitch always tells you that there's someone watching. Is that to make me feel better, or is there someone actually watching? I never get like anybody like commenting or anything. I wonder if it's because I also have stream elements connected to my Twitch, so it's kind of stream elements has to be somewhat aware of me live streaming. So it's probably stream elements. Hello, stream elements. Should I? I'm so tired. Let's see if I can find a pencil. If I can find a pencil, I find a pen. I need a pencil so I can put this in. Ooh. I found a ginger tree. Just solution. I'm still my pencils in here. Nope, but I found my this. It's for my phone, so maybe I can connect it right now. I can use my phone and my laptop. Dun dun! But you didn't see that coming. And that's okay, because neither did I. It's connected. We're at 10% now. Okay, I'm gonna do one of the Mad Libs. I'm glad that he has like an explanation, like a review of what an adjective and an adverb is, because I've forgotten everything I learned. I guess is adorable. This is the first one. Okay, let's see. We need an adjective first. Um, ugly. That's a word now. A plural noun. Wait, hold on. Parks. An animal. Dog. A number. 10. 10 is the same animal. Okay. A dog again. A plural noun. Kitchens. A person in a room. That's me. I'm gonna put chat because chat is not really in the room. Well, there's no one else, but I don't know for myself. Oh, you came in just in time for me to start doing the Stranger Things Mad Libs, but I was talking about self-care. I can do after this. I can do a quick sort of like overview what I've talked about earlier. I also was supposed to do like trivia, Stranger Things trivia, but the thing that I bought for the trivia kind of got lost. Either it didn't get delivered, someone stole it, or it's somewhere in my house and I just can't. So I guess I could just Google like Stranger Things trivia online and do that. Yeah, but I'm gonna put chat as the person that's in the room, the same person in the room. So once again, chat. I need a noun. Would you like to give me a noun? I used park and kitchen earlier. Anything else? Free game. Pancakes. A verb ending in ing. Wait, please. Crunchy. I'm hungry. Burping. Another noun. Lights. An animal. A duck. A type of food. Already pretty good. Tacos. I love tacos. A part of the body. A body part. Let's see if we can choose the same. I'm gonna try to choose something small. Something that, yeah, that's definitely, I don't even know what that is. Fernillium? I was thinking cheek, but what is a fernillium? It's a thing full of tissue that connects two structures. So something under the tongue. Alright. Wait a minute. Wait, frenulum is a body part. An adverb. I forgot what this one is. I want to use crunchy. It's crunchy. Yes. I need another noun. Okay, last two. Noun and a silly word. A silly word that I like. I like the word dilapidated only because it just sounds so funny to me. Not the actual like meaning of the word. Just dilapidated. It's just sounding good. A silly word. Ooh, we should choose like something that like the younger gens are like using nowadays. And I can't think of anything because I don't use that vocabulary. Skibidi. All right. That is something the young gens are using. Skibidi. Wait, I still need a noun. This would be our last noun. All right, we're done. Hello, people. I present you Stranger Things Mad Libs, done by the Pack and me. Are you looking to settle down in a small, fugly town? One with charm, friendly parks, and a real sense of community? Then look no further than Hawkins, Indiana. With a modest population of 10, you'll feel like a local in no time. Hawkins is a place where kids can play, ride their bikes, and what's that? You've heard the news reports about missing kitchens, like chat buyers, and Barbara Holland, to name a few. Well, perhaps you haven't heard that Chat was found safe and sound. I am glad Chat was found safe and sound. Do you love to shop? You should visit Pancakes Court Mall, the town's latest burping destination. All right then. So if you like to burp, now you know where to go. From the tech-savvy light shack to the cinema, there's something for... You want to hear more about the laboratory? Demo ducks, rodent tacos, crops all over town, Russian spies, the frenulum flayer, magnets crunching and falling off of refrigerators. Where are you hearing all of this? Let's focus on the TV court mall. Have I mentioned the food court has scoops skibidi? Well, if I didn't, now you did. Alright, well that is one Stranger Things Mad Libs. Thank you I worked very hard to choose nouns, which apparently I had to reread to figure out what they were. All right, just a quick sort of like overview of the self-care talk that I gave. It was like 20 minutes that I was talking about it, and then the rest of the time I was just mainly complaining about how I really wish there was someone in chat I could talk to. Anyway, so I was talking about not necessarily debunking like mental health or like self-care myths, but I was talking more about how although there's a lot of information online, what tends to happen is that because everyone sort of like repeats the same things, a lot of like when it comes to self-care, I don't know if it's still the thing now, but back when I first started posting things on social media, I would see a lot of artists that were talking about self-care, which is not wrong. However, they just kind of repeated the same things over and over again, and it just kind of made it sound like if you did self-care, like any problem that you had, whether it was like depression, PTSD, ADHD, or whatever, like it would just go away if you just did enough self-care, which is not necessarily correct. But self-care is necessary. It's something that we all need to do on a daily basis, several times a day would be best. But that, and also again, like if we were just to believe online or like social media, uh, there's just a lot. Self-care really centers on exercise, nutrition, and like beauty care routines, which are self-care. But again, if you only know about self-care through the internet or through the social media apps, you kind of believe that that's the only kind of self-care that you want to do or that you should be doing, which is not true. Self-care is really any hobby, or the easiest way that I just sort of like encourage everyone uh, to do self-care is by encouraging them to do whatever hobby they like, because you already know that you're gonna like it, and for the most part it also helps you socialize. It helps keep you distracted for a little bit with something fun, something that you already like, so you don't have to go completely out of your way to figure something out. So I do work with a lot of adults that sometimes have forgotten what they used to enjoy before they became parents, because before they had a lot of responsibilities, which is one of the reasons why Psychology for Geeks does self-care workshops. And one of the workshops that we are doing is this weekend at the Stranger Things house, and you can choose. Oh, this was later. One of these designs for a local artist to help you do step by step, or you can do a fake like what is it, stained glass art. I think this one is Vegna's something, Vegna's curse. In that one, I believe I am talking about fear, how to manage fear, and I think it's self-care for the other one, for the painting one. So it is not going to be the same things that I just said today. There's so much about self-care that I can talk about. Depending on how big the crowd is when I'm making the presentation, I tend to tailor it. Sometimes I do presentations specifically for parents, which is why I have been talking about parents quite a bit. If it's like for kids, then I'll tailor the thing a little bit for to fit more with like the type of self care that kids should be doing, kind of thing. So yeah. So okay, there's more to self care than whatever we see on the socials, and you can have fun while doing it. And I think I also talk about how like there's like options, right? Some people get very frustrated because, oh well, I can no longer do um, hiking or rock climbing because it's dangerous, or like I've fallen off before and now I have chronic pain or whatever. And I'm like, well, you can still like spend time in nature, you can still exercise to a certain extent. It's just not going to look the same that it used to before. But because it's not exactly the same as what we used to doing, we just immediately assume that it's not going to be any good or that we're not going to enjoy it at all. The example that I gave earlier when I was talking about it is that whenever we will had activities, actually, I will give you an example that of something that I noticed just last weekend. Was it last weekend? Yes, last weekend. So last weekend we did a booth for Psychology for Kids at an event in Fresno, and we were doing this sort of like mini workshop, or like it wasn't really a workshop, it was more like come and paint like a mini canvas, and donate and have fun or whatever. And a lot of parents were like, oh, why isn't this so cute? And they will encourage their kiddos to do it. A lot of kids were like, yeah, for sure. And parents are like, are you gonna like do like a guided thing, by like step by step? At that time it was just me. I'm not an artist. I'm a mental player. So I was like, I guess I can guide them, but I've noticed the kids, for the most part, whenever they're gonna paint something, they're like, I know what to paint. Like, you don't have to tell me. Like, I just know what it is. And let me see. I can show you guys, because there were some kids that were like, yeah, no, I already know, and then they like got to it, and because they don't have this like negative ideas quite yet of what, it doesn't look like it, or it's not exactly the same. Their art was so detailed and like so good compared to the art that I was doing. First of all, I was copying from Pinterest because I had no idea how to like do anything. Kids were like just like and there wasn't a kid. We must have had like maybe 20 kids that like that will come in and do like a painting, and none of them just kind of because like for an adult would be like, what should I paint? And it has to be something that we're comfortable with doing, something that we wouldn't really like embarrass ourselves if like somebody else did it, something that we like, right? So then we just kind of like overthinking, and kids were like just like, I just want to draw Patrick, and they did. Or there was this other character that I am not familiar with. It's like it was like a purple like character that was kind of hairy. They did say the name of it, but I completely forgot, so I can't tell you. But anyway, yeah, kids don't have like that conception of like things are different or things are wrong, so they don't even second guess themselves. Oh, wait a second. Oh wait, I took a few pictures. No. What the heck? Maybe it's not showing me all of the pictures? So I took pictures of the house. I guess I thought about taking a picture and then I didn't. Because I don't have them. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here's one of the paintings that a little kid did. And so he did Patrick and his house and SpongeBob. I think he only took like one picture. Yeah, I did. I only took that one picture. Oops. Oh well. I meant to take more pictures, but I didn't. Anyway, so for adults, we have a lot of uh, thoughts that go through our head, and then we talk ourselves out of doing things. Because outside of like having the kids, like I will also ask the parents to be like, they'll have like two kids and be like, hey kids, you guys want to do this thing? You guys want to do this thing? We have like a couple of different options of what they could do. And then I would just look at the parents and be like, would you like to paint? Would you like to do it as well? And then they like sometimes, especially the moms, they were a little bit more open. The parents, the fathers, immediately went like, no. And I couldn't convince them otherwise. But for the moms, some of them were like, yeah, I guess I could do it as well. And I was like, it's good. It's good for like it's a good way to do self care. I was trying to encourage everyone to engage more in self care, because we just I don't think we do enough of it. And there is so much bad things that are happening nowadays that I feel like self care is really truly needed. And it's a great way to spend time with the kids. A lot of parents end up buying like fancy supplies, like art supplies for the kids, or activities for them to do, but they never really join in. Or they do it only when the kids are doing it, not outside of it, or it's not something they're all that interested in. And I'm like, well, why aren't you teaching the kids your hobbies? Like, if you like to read, encourage the kids to read with you. If you like to crochet, encourage the kids to learn how to crochet. And it just becomes a like. I mean, a lot of parents do that with their kids, like force them to like, like doing sports and whatnot. And also, a lot of those parents didn't necessarily join sports either when they were younger, or didn't really like sports, but they know that it's a good way for kids to exercise. It's a good way for kids to socialize outside of school. So yeah, self care. But so hobbies and alternative hobbies, right, are something that we can do as self care. And aside from that, saying no, setting boundaries for ourselves is also a way for us to do self care. If you are feeling very depressed or like very overwhelmed, sometimes just making your favorite meal is considered to be self care. Taking a shower, brushing your teeth, going sort of like the one extra step that you haven't been able to do in a while can be considered self care. Because nowadays there's so like I don't know with you guys, but I feel like maybe it's just my anxious brain that's constantly thinking there's a right and wrong way of doing things, and I'm like, for the most part there isn't. But is that something that we hear often, like from school, like when we're in school? Because if you don't do certain projects in the way that you are expected to, you will get like a lower grade. I'm just thinking of like the art classes, and I'm like, they're so subjective whether or not is like good art. But yeah, I had a few professors. This was in grad school already, where the way that they did their exams was kind of different. Yeah, I feel very depressed mood for the last couple of weeks. I don't know if it's because of the weather changing. So I was just talking to the artist that's going to be helping us do the workshop this weekend, and I was like, this just whole month has kind of like sucked. And I was actually very excited because it was like spooky month. We have so many events planned for today, online and in person. It's my birthday month. I had so many things. I got sick for my birthday, so that wasn't great. uh, and we had to end up canceling a lot of events. We haven't got a lot of interest for some of the workshops that we are putting out there, and I think it's also because I was not feeling as well and I wasn't posting as consistently. Thank you. I am. Oh, I am actually looking forward to having more gray hair. I hope that at one point, at first, I was thinking that I wanted to be like my maternal grandfather, who still had like dark hair when he was like in his 70s, 80s. And now I'm like, but if I have an all white head of hair, I can just like dye my hair a bunch of different cool colors, and it will be like a faster process because I don't have to like bleach it. It would just already be white. So I'm kind of looking forward to now having a lot of like white hairs. I'm only 34. Like it's gonna take a while. But I do see them not interesting. They're like some on my hair already. Uh, anyway, yeah, it's just it has been quite the year for one. Lots of stuff happening, and it has been quite the month. And therefore, that's why it's so essential for us to do activities and hang out and go outside and meet people and do self care. Because life sucks sometimes. But we can make it a little bit better if we are having fun. Because again, like I think we just get really um, not overwhelmed, but we kind of get stuck in all the responsibilities that we have. In we get sold sort of like this idea of what the perfect life is, and then if you're not living to that expectation, then you're not doing it correctly or whatever. And I believe it sometimes. Like I hear it, and like I start comparing myself to like all my other friends who have already graduated and they have their careers, and they've had their careers for a while, and then they're getting married, or they're having kids, and then I'm like, wait, am I behind? Am I like not doing this correctly? So sometimes like that, those thoughts sort of like happen. You enjoy, or your favorite self-care is taking walks, painting, drawing, poetry. And poetry, I can't poet. I can't poet or write. I feel like I don't know, writing it's so hard for me. Sometimes like there's certain phrases and things where I'm like, oh, I want to make that into a meme, or I'm kind of using sort of like a similar format that somebody else used. I can do that. But in terms of me like actually writing something, I can't. My brain is like, no, can't do that. Taking walks. I should be doing more of that actually. Um, just to get out of my house, or at least hang out in my garden with my dog. Is my dog with me? Painting. I've been painting quite a bit. That's what kind of like lifted up my spirits from like all the event cancellations, and our Discord has been kind of quiet as well. So I was getting like, oh no, everybody hates me kind of thoughts, just because things weren't going like the way that I planned. But then I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Like everybody is everybody has a life. A lot of people talk about like, oh, I just couldn't make the movie night because X, Y, and Z. Like sometimes people are just not interested in certain events that we host, and that's okay. I wished people would be more interested. Eventually, but we are getting to the point. There are some good things that happen. right? Like let's reframe a little bit, because even though this whole month kind of was sucky, this whole year was not the greatest, there were some good things that came out of it. So, for example, for me, I got contacted by two different places that were interested in partnering with us to do self-care workshops with them in their location, which is fantastic. Because we don't have an actual location. We are poor. We're still relatively new to everything that we are doing. So, um, funding, because of everything that's going on with politics these days, funding for nonprofit organizations is a little bit sketchy. And we also like brand new. We don't have like a lot of manpower. We don't have a lot of volunteers. So yes, partnering with like local shops is actually very good, and I am happy that all these places are willing to work with us, even though we are still a relatively small community. um, so yeah, so that's something good that happened. I started painting again. That I'm having fun doing. Although I do realize that even though I am following like a format or a sketch or something like that I'm seeing, it's my skills are not on par with an artist that has been arting for a very long time. So it always comes out different. Not ugly. But I think that one of the things that I've learned about art is that you can just redo the piece if it doesn't if it's not to your liking. Earlier I was doing this like two little tiny characters from like this video game that came out not long ago. I actually don't know the name of the video game. I don't really plan on playing this video game, but the characters are so cute. So I was like, I'll just paint the characters, and I didn't take into account because essentially it's just sort of like this head and a dress and like two like sticks for legs. I was like, I can do that. Um, but I didn't calculate how much of a space I needed for like the head. So it didn't come out good, and I didn't like it. But then I was like, oh, this is kind of like, it was like a brown reddish like color, and I was like, if I had a little bit more pink, I can sort of like turn this into a brain. I didn't finish it, so I don't want to show you guys because it just looks like a pinkish reddish brownish blob because I haven't finished the rest of it. But hopefully it will come out to something, and I'm just enjoying painting. Yeah. Also, I have been talking to a lot of artists, and I have to stick to my resolve to say that Psychology for Geeks will be taking a break. They do, and like, it's not necessarily like even a mistake, right? Because it can be corrected. If you work on it long enough, you're able to sort of like correct it. But yeah, it's I think, I kept thinking about like mistakes or like happy little accidents or whatever ever since we had the Bob Ross like paintings, painting workshops. Because I was like, oh, because I love working with the artists that we work with because they're always so encouraging, and they're like, oh, it didn't really work out. Well, why don't you just do something different? It's fine, right? Like it's no big deal. They treat everything like it's not a big deal, and that like you can just, oh yeah, just whisk it this way or like add a little bit of color and then it kind of makes it look like it. Because my like anxious brain is like, no, it has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, it sucks. And that's not true. But that's kind of like the mentality that I sort of like my brain comes up with. So having these consistent workshops that we're doing for the community in like different locations and stuff, it's helped me sort of like reframe some of the thoughts and be like, hey, it can be saved, right? Like it's not a big deal. Like you should just cover it with like a black color or like a darker color or whatever, and then start again. You can do that. And so yeah, I've been enjoying art or doing painting primarily quite a bit. And I'm talking to a lot of artists, and uh, because I want to not plan any sort of like events for December, so then we can plan for 2026. I think a lot of the good ideas that I've had, a lot of like the cool collaborations that I want to do, they are going to be happening in 2026. uh, so I don't have to like rush. And also because in 2026 I will also be focusing a little bit more on my career. So there will be a lot less events happening unless we can get a lot of volunteers out of nowhere. Um, unless my assistant has a lot of time slash we have money to pay her. But I want to continue doing like monthly like self-care workshops like in like different locations because they're so fun. And everybody that comes to the events, sometimes I have people that have the pack. You have been going to a lot of events or painting events particularly, and I always have so much fun. And we have people that come to some of our self-care workshops and they loved it. Or some people that are like, oh, I never thought about doing this, or it's so much fun for us to be able to do this, so I'm going to start painting more often. And sometimes they do continue coming back for events, sometimes they don't. But I mean, the point is for everyone in the community to start doing more self-care, right? Having fun, doing things that they enjoy. Oh, we would be really, really happy to have you. In November, actually, we're gonna be talking. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so in November, I confirmed already with Megan, one of our artists, and we are doing the Wave, and we're also doing a Van Gogh workshop because I missed the last one, and I kind of am going to miss this one. No, because then I planned this other workshop in Fresno. There's gonna be one in Visalia. I think it's gonna be Van Gogh, and then in Fresno we're gonna do at a new location that we're like trying to test out to see if people are interested in doing the self-care workshops. We're doing a fall Bob Ross theme, sort of like painting. So I think I'll be doing that one, and my assistant will be doing the other one. But oh, listen, you know the one that I have been wanting to do? Let me see if I can get some good pictures from this. So I was talking to a client, and I always ask anyone that I work with what they're interested in, what their hobbies are, because again, that lets me know how often they engage in self-care. And one of them mentioned Japanese pop art, and I was like, what? And I was like, well, what's the difference between Japanese pop art and like American pop art? And I still don't really know, but it looks so cute. Look at this, and it's just so bright and colorful that I love it. So I think we might be doing that Japanese pop art. Look at this. Look at this. This looks awesome. The colors aren't really translating. I see now on the screen they're not as bright. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. So yeah, I'm trying to convince these other artists to figure out how to do pop art for us, so then we can do it for a workshop. But yeah, I'm very excited about that Japanese pop art. There's a bunch of things. So we have the new the new art or nonprofit that one of our artists is trying to start, and we want to do a lot of collaborations with them in the future. Um, I think ideally what I would like to do is like all of the locations where we have been allowed to have a um, like a self-care workshop, do a monthly or like bi-monthly uh, like self-care workshop there, and then sort of like continue doing them. Because again, the community, for the most part, depending on what it is that we are promoting, there's a lot of people that like doing that. I love working with the local artists, and because it's a way for people to sort of like get out of their house for like at least 2 hours, talk to someone else that also lives in the area, and hopefully they get motivated to start being more creative in their everyday life. So yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like podcasts that I end up listening to where they talk about like Japanese culture. And I think at one point one of the podcasts that I listened to asked, oh, did you go to the one of the open house things that they had at Create and Connect? Because I wanted to go, but then that's a week, that's when I got sick. Because we do need to because artists be artisting and they're busy sometimes, so I'm like, hey, we want you to do like we hire you for like a workshop and stuff like that. So but I only have 3 artists so far that I'm kind of like continuously working with, and again, like when they're busy, I'm like, I have no one. So I am looking forward, like I do want to meet more artists that are open to doing like workshops, because not everyone is interested in it. There's a lot of artists that are also very shy, and they don't really want to. Oh, you had a scheduling conflict? Yeah, me too. Well, I got sick. A lot of the times it's a scheduling conflict because a lot of their events are like during the week, and I work during the week, and I work like my work is from like 1 p.m. to like 8 p.m. So like I can't do anything during those Porterville. That's kind of far. I mean, eventually I would like to start doing things in Porterville as well. Do you know if they have an Instagram for that? Anyway, hello. I think if somebody else has joined us today, welcome in. Today we're just chatting. So we don't have a lot of people in the chat today. But I'm more than happy to answer any questions about self-care and mental health in general. Tomorrow we are live streaming again at 8 p.m. And tomorrow I'll have my phone ready to go, so then I can live stream from my phone, so I can give you a tour of the Airbnb where I'm staying, because it's really cool. This is my background for today. Tomorrow I'm gonna choose a different one. But I need to get all of my things from from the 2000s on my containers and things that I brought into the house. Like, hide them somewhere or take them outside. Because it kind of ruins the vibe of the house. The house is just like so 80s. You guys can see the so I'm not gonna lie, the house is a little bit scary. When I first walked in, the lights were on, and there was like music from like the show playing. And there's this like section over there that kind of looks like when they travel to the upside down. And I got scared when I saw what's out there. I want to tell you guys, so because I feel like you guys will you guys will see tomorrow. You guys will see tomorrow. But yeah, just sitting in the house with like the lights and like the wallpaper. I'm kind of like, the wallpaper is just scary, bro. like what is it about wallpaper? It's like cute. It's like super cute, and I love flowers and I love the colors. But somehow in my head, I'm like, this is creepy. This is creepy, and everything is like there's a huge TV. You know, like the antenna TV. A lot of like the radios, the lamps look old. There's a lot of old stuff in here, so I think it just kind of like weirds me out, because then I have like this computer and it's like it just doesn't fit the vibe of the house. And even the kitchen has it has more modern appliances than in the show, I think. um, So yeah, but I'm very excited to show you guys, to give you that tour of the house. It could be like super cool. So yeah. So anyway, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow we are also, since we didn't get a lot of people interested, I think maybe we didn't fully reach all of the Stranger Things fans in the area, or we just didn't mention like how cool it was. I tried to show pictures of what the house looked like, but it doesn't do it justice, you guys. There's so many details. I mean, part of the thing that you can do in this house, it's like they have VHS uh, player, and VHS like movies that you can watch. Earlier we watched Ghostbusters, because it was one of the least scary ones that they had. They have Halloween. I'm not watching that. Oh, they have ET. That one's not as scary. I guess I can watch that. Back to the Future. That one's also someone that's not as scary. They have and Goonies. I guess Terminator's not as scary either. But most of them are scary, so I'm like, it's the most scary. So I'm like, one, not watching a scary movie at night by myself in an unknown place. That is crazy talk. And unless I get a huge donation of like $500, then I'll do it right now. But other than that, I'll just say something else. Oh, they also have a cassette player, which does work. Oh, and then they have like this video game. It has Pac-Man and Galaga. I want to play once I finish this stream in a few minutes, because my brother ended up playing Galaga for a little bit. I'm hoping maybe I can do his school. What else do they have? I took a few pictures of like the best places. Maybe I'll do a video of it tomorrow. Yeah, Galaga is so fun, but because I know there is a way like for you to play on your phone, but when I downloaded it, like I just downloaded the free version and it came with like a bunch of ads, so it wasn't as fun to play. And I don't know, there's something about like clicking buttons, or like moving like the joystick that is like so fun. Because since I had like, I had my modern phone and I was just kind of like doing this, and it doesn't have the same feel as me just like jamming the button. That's better. So yeah, so I'll be able to do that. I've been wanting to buy one. I think they're like $400 or something to get those old like arcade games. Yeah, button mashing. Yeah, I mean that's the only way I know how to play. Like I remember sometimes I would join like my brothers or my friends, and then like we would do like fighting games because those are a little bit easier, I guess, for a lot of people to play. And it just so happens that a lot of my friends have those. And that's all I did. I don't know what any like I know how to do combos. I don't know how to do like I know how to jump. I know how to like walk, and then I push all the other buttons, and hopefully I attack. But yeah, I don't really know how to play video games like that. I do need to save up money to buy a gaming computer so I can live stream some games. Because the computer that I have is not very good for that. It lags so bad when I'm streaming, and also like it just doesn't really run programs for a lot of games. So I'm just waiting to have a fancy computer so I can play video games. I know there's a way to like connect my Switch as well. The old one, I don't have the new one. Well, I don't even know how to play computer games unless it's like Tetris. I guess I can do that. Play Tetris. What's the other game? Chess I used to play on a computer. What's the one where it's mine? It's Minecraft. It's the ones where like you press like the little squares, and then there's like bombs that went off. You have to avoid all of them. I forgot what it's called. Minesweep? Yeah, Minesweeper. Yeah, I played that. But like, because I do have a game that I bought on like Steam, and it's just like a washing simulator. But I keep forgetting how to walk because it's like you have to use the keys. So yeah, I'm just not used to it. Yeah. Hopefully soon I get that. Hopefully sometime next year. Gotta choose a room to sleep in. The least creepy one will be nice. I mean, there's a lot of places here that are potentially very comfortable to like sleep, but I'm not sleeping here. But that's for sure. There's a creepy thingy over there, and there's another one over there. I'm in the house, yeah. You see, like it's so cool on the inside, but it's like creepy. I think I need to go watch like really cute screamer or something to forget that I'm in this house. Um, thank you. Um, if you show up here tomorrow for one of the self care workshops and I am not anywhere to be found, it's please look for me in the upside down. That's probably where I ended up. They do have a gateway to the upside down. I try not to cross it too often, but yeah. Oh, that means a lot. That you'll pray for me even though you don't on the regular. Yes, thank you. Um, yeah, or you can look for me in the upside down. That's nice. And I think too, I kind of got. I think my own like over imaginative brain is like it's too quiet. Why is it so quiet? And then like every noise that I hear, I'm like, what's that? What's that? And it's like it's my computer, like the fans of the computer running. Um, so yeah, I just gotta pretend I'm in my happy place. uh, What's the weather for tomorrow? We're gonna be outside most of the time because inside the house, since there's so much like memorabilia and like props, we don't have a lot of space for painting or for doing the workshop. So we're gonna do them outside. It's really nice outside, not as creepy. Wait. Oh yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a little bit cooler than today, but no rain, so that's good. No rain. Not just humidity, a little bit of wind. Not too bad. Okay, good, good, good. To fall asleep in a store. I feel like no. If like, wouldn't that be scarier? Like, but I didn't want to drive all the way back to my house and then like back again um, today, and I'm like, maybe I should have. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow if I survive. If I do survive, we will be live streaming at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So come and join us, and I will actually be giving you a tour tomorrow of the house. I will. I will. I'm gonna watch my favorite non-creepy movies. Um, I haven't seen movies in a while. Like watching Ghostbusters was sort of like, what was the last movie I seen? Jeez. I think it was K-pop Demon Hunters. That was a while ago. I keep wanting to go to the movie theaters to watch movies, but then I just don't have time. I have so many, like, I'm just so busy, and then I also forget the movies. So, and then by the time I remember, the movie's no longer in theaters. Not great. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. Um, I was gonna be like I'm gonna go find the salt and make salt circles around the house, so demons don't get me. But that's only for like Supernatural, the show. Oh, oh, you saw Pan? Oh, where? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So in yeah, that's for because in on Halloween we're having like a special live stream that we're doing, and we're gonna be talking about Pan's Labyrinth and what else the other Guillermo del Toro movie? Crimson Peak. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Do check out our website or our socials for like so you know what other events we are planning for like that are coming. upcoming events that we are planning, whether they're online or in person. Please do check them out. It's a good way to support us financially, to donate to us, and still be able to do something really cool for yourself. I think I'm a fan, a huge fan of win-win situations. So we really do enjoy having you guys donate to us, but then also take something home with you as well. So yeah, don't forget to check out your. Wait, don't forget to subscribe or follow us, depending on where you're watching us from. And tomorrow, please do join us for another live stream. Share our events with your community so they can too have an opportunity to come and hang out with us. And yes, tomorrow I'm going to be giving a tour of the Stranger Things Airbnb in Clovis. We still have tickets available for the self-care workshop, so if you're interested in that, if you're in the area. I think if you go to our website, you'll see all the links for how to get tickets, or you can just send me a message on socials. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us for this live stream today. Hopefully we can see you at tomorrow's live stream, and don't forget to reframe and re-enchant your life. All right, bye.